Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopasantaye Yasyat Viradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadasadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshinim. With Swami's grace, we came up to Slokam 5-7. Yoga Yukto Visuddhatma Vijitatma Chitendriyaha Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan Api Na Lipyate. Okay. Now we'll go to Slokam 5-8. Overall meaning is the wife mentally holding on to the indweller and doing actions like seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, dreaming and breathing. They must think, I am not the doer. The I am not the doer. Kartaham manyate iti is what Bhagavan Sriman Narayana told Brahma when he taught him what is generally known as the concise Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam, the very first teaching, came from Bhagavan Sriman Narayana to Brahma. And that very few slokams he describes the Bhagavatam. That is called as concise Bhagavatam. And there he says, I am the one who has actually done everything. Like, I am the one given everything. I am the one who's moving about. I am in everything. I am everything. But the man thinks, Kartaham manyate iti. I am the doer. He doesn't realize the me present within them and the cause of everything, the cause of the whole prapancham. He doesn't realize that. He thinks he is doing it. That I am the doer. That feeling has to go. So for that, we begin here in 5.8. Naiva kinchite karomi iti yukto manyate tattvavit. Pasyan, Sunvan, Sprusan, Jigran, Asran, Gajjan, Swapanchvasan. Let me repeat it again. Okay, one second. Okay. Naiva kinchite karomi iti yuktaha manyeta tattvavit. Pasyan, Srunvan, Sprusan, Jigran, Asnan, Gachan, Swapan, Asvasan. Okay? Swapan, Swasan. Okay? So I think I broke the word for you. Na eva kinchit karomi iti yuktaha manyate tattvavit. Pasyan, Srunvan, Sprusan, Jigran, Asnan, Gachan, Swapan, Swasan. Okay? Let's begin with the words are the second line, all the words are there. So let's go through that. Pasyan means seeing. Srunvan, to hear, hearing. Sprusan, touching. Jigran is to when you smell something, right? When you smell, when you kind of inhale the fragrance, that feeling. Jigran. Asnan, eating. Gachan, means to go, we're moving about. Swapan is the dreaming, like swapnam, like you have, when you dreaming, swapan. Swasan is to breathe. So when you do all these, even when you're doing all these things, what happened? Tattva with means to know. Tattva means the truth, right? Tattvam, as I say, right? The present everywhere. So tattva one tattva yuktaha, one who has realized or knows the entity that is present within him as well as everywhere, one who knows the truth, that yuktaha, that yogi, kinchit, as we saw earlier, without even leaving the slightest residue. That means in everything. Naiva karomi iti. Naiva karomi iti. Naiva karomi iti. I am not the doer. I am not the doer. Okay? Naiva karomi iti. I am not the doer here. I am not doing it. Iti. Thus, manyate. He must think. This will automatically come. This is not something that you have to worry about achieving. The moment you turn your mind towards the indweller and focus on him, automatically, when you observe yourself breathing or talking or doing or whatever, your mind is always with the indweller, with the Lord who's within you, whom you are trying to touch and embrace. So automatically the question of ownership, the question of associating yourself with the action will start diminishing. And as you become yuktaha, as you become very skilled and mature in embracing the indweller, the feeling or the thought that I am the doer, I am doing it, I am breathing, I am eating, those feelings will disappear automatically. Okay? Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyate tattvavite pasyan srinvan sprusan jigran asnan gachan swapan asvasan. Now, slokam number 5-9. He must be firm in the conviction that all actions such as speaking, detaching from, attaching to, keeping awake or sleeping, etc. take place because the senses go after their respective senses, so respective sense objects. The senses go after the sense objects, respective sense objects. That is their natural duty. They are performing that. Once you start observing that it is the senses going after the sense object, you have no doership or ownership or association with it. You automatically become a witness and detached yourself. So, that is the next slokam. Pralapan, Visrijan, Grihman, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Indriyani Indriyateshu, Vartanta, Iti, Dharayan. Pralapan, Visrijan, Grihman, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Indriyani Indriyartheshu, Vartanta, Iti Dharayan. Pralapan, speaking, whatever you speak. Okay? Visrijan, see, we talk about Kyatva, we talk about Yajnam, we talk about all this. The thing that always puzzled me as I went through my own process of learning was that even the act of giving up something, the moment I think I'm giving up, then I'm defeating the purpose. The idea is the ahamkaram mamakaram, like Bhagavan taught us in Sankhya Yoga. Ahamkaram, I am the doer. That feeling has to be given up. But if I'm telling myself I have to give up, I have to detach, I have to associate, okay, then I'm not giving up that feeling. So that puzzle is always in me. Bhagavan answers it beautifully here, if you look at. So Visrijan means giving up things. Prihnan, attaching to, embracing, acquiring, grihnan. Unmishan. Mission is in the waking stage, like we are all right now in the unmission, we are all awake. Nimishan, exactly opposite, when we are sleeping. Api and Indriyani Indriyartheshu. We have come across this phrase before. The senses going after the sense objects. And we also covered that earlier. The sense eye has got a sense object, right? Which is the vision, which is the object that it's able to see. Like that. The ear has got its sound, right? So like that, each one has got, the five senses have got five sense objects that they go after. Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante, they go after that. Because that is a natural attraction between the senses and the sense object. Even that attraction, that rasaha is also Rama. Ramyate iti Ramaha. That is what attracts the senses to the sense object. That is also Rama. That's the way we must see. So, Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante iti, thus, Dharayanne. Dharayanne means to be, Dhara means to support it. Here, what are you supporting of? You're being supported by the fact you are embracing the indweller, this yogi, the Yuktaha, Tattvavita Yuktaha that Bhagavan talked about in the previous Slokam. He automatically knows all these are all supported by this one entity. That's the feeling he has. When you get that kind of feeling, how will you feel or think even for a chanam that I am doing it? That there's no ahamkaram at that point. Pralapan visrijan gragman unmishan nimishan api indriyani indriyarteshu vartanta iti dharayan. Slokam number 10. He who does his actions, giving up the mental lock, I am the doer, who does not desire results, and who offers all actions to the indweller, is not touched by sin. In the same way, the lotus leaf is not touched by water. Very important. Understand this very carefully what Bhagavan says. Okay, he said there is no sin. And to give you briefly, Papam and Punyam, the very simple definition is as follows. Papam is any action, any thought, speech, or bodily action that is done with a feeling separated from Bhagavan. Like I am different from Bhagavan. That separate feeling we all have. I am God. That feeling we don't have, right? With the feeling of separation, whatever you do is papam. That is why the final Bhagavan's teaching is Charama Slokam is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Because even the most noble, most beneficial activity that we do is always tinged with even the slightest ego. So to do that, to get rid of it, we surrender everything to Him. So to put it in another way, Punyam is every action and any action, thought, word or action, that is done fully surrendered to the indweller that is within you, to your conscience, to the boundless love that's present to you, the entity that's always present. Whatever way you want to look at it, when you surrender that to Him, to that entity, fully, that's a practice we can have, then whatever you do will become punyam. There is no papam. Okay, that is what Bhagavan is explaining in this slokam. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatram ivam bhasa. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatram iva ambhasa. Padangal are Brahmani adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatram iva ambhasa. Yaha, who, karmani, all the actions, okay, all actions, Brahmani, to Brahman, adhaya, place it there, Adhaya means to place it, to leave it. The Brahmani Adhaya, which means to place it with the indweller, to the Brahman. After doing that, in other words, mentally, I am thinking of the indweller within me. Whatever form you want to worship him, whether it is Ambal or whether it is Shiva or Parvati or Narayana, Rama, Krishna, it really doesn't matter. But keep one form in your mind and place that form in your heart. And whatever you do, you think of that form and offer it to him. Offer all the actions to him. Either before doing the action or during the action or at the end of the action, whenever you remember, but keep doing it. Right? That is the first one. Brahmani Adhaya, doing that. Sangam Tyaktva. Sangam means what? Junction. Junction of what? Two junctions are here, right? One is attaching yourself to the action itself. That is one junction. Second is attaching yourself to the desire of the results from the action that you're doing. That's the second junction. Okay? And third, there is a third junction also. The third junction is attaching yourself to the feeling that you are doing it. So all these three attachments, three junctions, three sangams, tyaktva, giving it up, leave it. And when you want to leave it, you have to leave it at some place. So leave it with the indweller that you want to embrace and think and look to. So in a practical basis, when you do that, karoti, yaha karoti, who does like this, what happens to him? Saha, he, ambasa means water, Padma Patram iva, the Padma Patram. Patram means leaf. Padma is lotus. So it's a lotus petal we are talking of, right? That on the flower, the petal of the flower, Patram. So Padma Patram iva, the lotus leaf, how it is not touched by the water, same way, Saha Papena na lipyate. He is not touched by papam, for sin. Why? Because he is already mentally embracing the indweller. The moment you do that, there is no papam for you. Okay? And when you don't do it, that is when whatever you do becomes papam. Okay, that is the basic differences between the two. And this definition is not given by me, it is given by Sri Rama himself. The question asked of him when he was in the forest, when the rishis came. Various rishis used to come and have satsang with him. And Rama used to answer every question. One of the questions was this: what is pavam, what is punyam? And it is in Ramayanam. And Rama himself says, this is what papam is, this is what punyam is. Okay? Now, Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate nasa papena padmapatram ivambhasa. Slokam number 11. Now, people who do their actions embracing the indweller, see, every slokam here talks about person doing the action embracing the indweller, and answer the very first question of Arjuna. You don't give up action, you embrace it, but look at action as divinity. That is how actions leave you. So both, as Bhagavan said early on in the same Adhyayam, that Sankyam and Sannyasam, they are one and the same. Okay, that's you have more explanations coming up. Every slokam now is this. People who do their actions embracing the indweller purify their mental impulses. Whatever actions they do with their body, mind, intelligence or the senses, they do without attachment to the actions, results or to the feeling, I am the doer. Right? Those three junctions we talked about. Slokam number 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyaihi api yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma suddhaye. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyairapi yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma suddhaye. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyaihi api Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma suddhaye. Yoginaha. By now we know what Yoginaha means. Means both people like ourselves who want to, who have even just a small, minute spark of desire to touch the indweller who is present within me, to embrace him, to look to him. That slightest spark, with the discipline and with practice, will very soon become a raging fire that destroys the whole forest. It will become so powerful. The slightest, even that person is also called yogi, right, who embarks on this path. Yoga means unison with Bhagavan. That is what yoga is. So I want to unite. That itself makes you a yogi. But then you become skilled at it with practice. Okay, both the process and the goal. Yoginaha, these yogihar, sangam tyaktva. We talked about that. I don't have to go through it again. Sangam tyaktva, atma suddhaye. Which atma suddhaye is very important. Now, Atma means different things. Atma also refers to the indweller who is nothing but pavitram, right? He is the purity, that indweller is the one who gives the value of purity to purity itself, right? Pavitram, pavitranam cha, as Sahasranamam we say. But that's not the Atma talking about here. Atma Suddhaye. Here, it talks about the body and the associated things like mind and speech, and the various actions that the body do. These are the three things that have to be purified. In our world, in our life, okay, it's called Trikarana Suddhi. And Trikarana Suddhi, Suddhi means purity, Suddham. And what is the three things to be purified? The thought, and the speech, and the body action. They have to be purified, and they have to be in alignment. In other words, I must speak what I think, and I must do what I speak. That alignment is very important. But all the three will have to be purified. That Atma Suddhaye is what he is talking about here. That Atma Suddhaye. So Yoginaha, in Sangam Tyaktva, Atma Suddhaye, next question comes, how do I purify my thought, speech and action? In order to do that, Kevalaihi, that Kevalaihi means without the feeling or the awareness, without the feeling, the thought or the awareness that I am the doer. That is Kevalaihi. Kayena, with body, Manasa, with mind, Buddhya, with intelligence. And what is Buddhi? Buddhi is only one thing, the discriminating ability that we have. That is Buddhi, nothing else. The other things, intelligence and all the things we talked about is related to the mind. The understanding ability of a given thing, of the external world, right, is a mental thing. It is nothing to do, even though we call it intelligence, right? But Buddhi means the discriminating ability that we have been bestowed with. So Buddhi, Indriyahi api, all the senses. So whatever actions that he does with all these, karma, the yoginaha, sangam tyaktva, atma suddhiye, in order to purify these three types of purity I mentioned to you, and Bhagavan describes this later in chapter 7, in Adhyayam 17, he will talk about the tapas, the mano tapas, the vak tapas, and the kaya tapas, okay, the three things I mentioned to you, and how to, in order to purify it, with that objective, and the thinking that I am not the doer, deliberately, no, I am not doing it, Bhagavan is doing it. With that process you begin, and you do all the actions through your intelligence, mind, and body, and all the senses, and all that. Karma kurvanti, they carry out their actions. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyaihi api yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma suddhaye. And we'll do slokam number 12. He who practice the discipline of doing action as selfless sacrifice, very important, and who discards the desire for results from his actions, attains peace progressively as his discipline progresses. The point we just talked about, right? On the other hand, the person without this discipline is impelled by desire for the results of action and gets bound by action. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. Ayuktaha kamakarena phale saktaha nibadhyate. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. Ayuktaha kamakarena phale saktaha nibadhyate. Words are padangal. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. Ayuktaha kama karena phale saktaha nibadhyate. Yuktaha, one who is embarked on this journey, this path of embracing the indweller, okay, of becoming, of looking to the indweller, okay, turns his vision inward. One who expands his heart, becomes less and less and selfish, okay, put it on a very blunt term, right? That person, karma phalam, the results of the desire for the results of the action, because every action will have its result, but desiring that result, karma phalam tyaktva, giving it up, naishtikim santim. Naishtikim santim. It's a beautiful description that in Shankara's description basically covers what we've been talking about. There are 4 stages, okay, and what does it say? The first thing is, I look to the indweller, okay, the very first thing. Then what happened? The moment I want to do it, I want to go and touch the lotus feet, I want to embrace him, and I want to become more loving, less selfish. All these thoughts come in my mind, that itself starts purifying. The purification process begins. Purification of the thinking, purification of the speech, purification of the action. All this process begins on a practical basis. And we all, whether we like it or not, we will be doing it at some point in time. It's Bhagavan's design, okay? Sooner or later, we all will do it. Then that's the first step. And the second step is, the moment I start doing that, what we covered in 4th Adhyayam, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, right? That means, there is the Jnanam comes. The Jnanam not of the final oneness with the Lord. That's the final end. But the Jnanam that, I must offer everything I do to the indweller, to the Lord, That knowledge, that wisdom dawns. That is the second step. Okay? Then the third step automatically, the moment that wisdom begins, what will I do? I will automatically offer all my actions, thoughts, speech and actions to that indweller, to who's within me, whom I'm looking at. That is the third step. Karma sannyasam, which is what this adhyayam is talking about. Then you cover all these progress. You progress. The fourth step is becoming one, embracing the indweller and becoming one with the indweller. That is the final santi. So, naishtikim santim. It is all these various stages of peace, various stages of shanti, culminating in the final paramapadam. Okay, that is what naishtikim santim. Okay. Apnoti, he attains. Who? Yuktaha karma palam tyaktva naishtikim santim apnoti. So, first step is to karma palam tyaktva. Okay. Next one, the person who does not do it. Okay. Ayuktaha, the one who does not do it, karma karena. Karanam, means reason, a causative effect, right? Being impelled to the action, karma karena, because of certain desires you take actions, right? You are impelled, karma karena, phale. That means the results, the rewards of those actions, saktaha. He attaches himself, desires himself for the results. And by doing that, nibadhyate, he gets bound. Yuktaha karmapalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. ayuktah kamakarena phale saktah nibadhyate. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.